In this video, we're going to show you how to enter a piecewise function and graph it. And we're going to show you how you can use the template, the piecewise template, in both the text sticky and in the equation sticky. So I have a situation here where it's about a photocopy service. They're charging $5 initially, and then depending on how many copies you're going to make, it has different ranges, different costs. And so basically you have 3 different charges based on the number of copies. So 3 different conditions, and that therefore is a piecewise function. Your function doesn't have just one situation, it has 3. So how would you enter that if you just wanted to write the function? Well, this is a text sticky, and you can enter using math template because every text sticky in Classpad has the ability to do math type. So you'll notice down here, here's how you can change your text size, but over here is a math type button. When I click it, it creates a math line, and actually let's move our math line down there. It creates a math line that brings up the template, and now I can enter, you know, fractions in standard form and exponents. This is math type, so I can use all the templates that are in here. So where is the piecewise function? If you go to math and the second tab of math, you'll see over here this template, and this is the piecewise template. Let me just click it and show you what it means. This is allowing you to enter an expression and then a condition. So that's what this vertical bar is doing. It's separating the expression from the condition. And we do want to have this be a function, so let's use function notation here. You could also just use y equals. So notice this is a template that only has 2 conditions. That's sort of the default. But over here, I actually have 3. I have 20 cents a copy, I have 15 cents a copy, and 12 cents a copy, depending on how many copies I make. So I need another line, another row. So all you have to do is go back to that template and hit it again, and it will add a row for you. So you could have many conditions, and you would just hit the template to keep adding a row. So let's actually enter this. So our condition here is, our first one is, it's $5. And the first one is if you have under 20 copies, it's 20 cents a copy. And so here's where we're going to enter our conditions. So what are some conditions? Well, we know we're going to have more than 0. So we're going to put 0, and we're going to get our inequality. We know that the number of copies x has to be greater than 0, not equal to 0, because if you didn't have any copies, you wouldn't be charged anything. So you're going to put an x here. And then 20. So up to 20, we're giving you 20 cents a copy. So now we're going to get the less than or equal to and enter our 20. So there's first condition. Let's look at the second condition. Second condition is also still $5, but this time it's a little cheaper, so 15 cents for the copies. And it starts at 21, so we know that we're going to have to put 20 as a less than x, right? And then it goes up to 50, so the next one is less than or equal to 50. That's our second condition there. And finally, our last situation, also again starting with 5, but this time it's down to 12 cents a copy. And if it's more, if x is greater than or equal to, actually it should be greater than. Let's erase that, because we've already used that. So all I did was hit back and it took out the equal sign. So now we want to enter our x value here. So here is my piecewise function. Again, it's just a template. If you have more than 2 conditions, then you hit the template again and it will continually add a row up until you have it. It'll enter a row for each time that you hit it. So you can do that up to however many conditions you have. So now how would I graph a piecewise function? So let's get the graph sticky out. And we want to enter our function. So we're going to hit the function here at the bottom of the graph. And this brings up a graph equation sticky. Now, a couple ways I could do this. I could use the template again. I could take all of this and use the template again. So if you look, I'm going to go into math. And here's my template. And I know I have 3 conditions. And I know that I want to do y equals, and I could enter all my conditions again. But if I've already done it in my text, I don't necessarily need to do it again. I could just copy and paste. So there's 2 different ways you could use the template, but if you've already done it once, why not just copy and paste? So when I come back over to the text, I can just copy this whole thing, and for me, I'm on a PC, so Control-C for me. And then I go back up into the equation sticky, and I'm going to do Control-V. And there is my Piecewise. But if you wanted to enter it by hand, it would be the same as we did with the text. You'd hit the template and add the rows that you need. So now we're going to hit Execute. And this is going to graph our Piecewise. Well, it doesn't look like we see much, and this is a nice exercise to go through with students. Well, why don't we see the rest of the graph? Well, if you notice, our x values are starting at 0, and they're going up to at least 50, probably higher. So we don't see it because our window here is not very good. So you can change the window a couple ways. If you click on the graph and hold your mouse down, you can bring it down and then zoom in. So that's one way to do it. Zoom in until you get your x values, your domain and range where you want them to. Or you can go up to the 3 dots at the top of the graph and manually change it. So we know our x values are going to at least 50, but let's make it be 100 just so that we see it. And then our y values, we're not quite sure where they're going, so let's make those be 50. Whoops. Let's make those be 50. There we go. All right. And now it changes my window. So now I see my Piecewise function, which is kind of a funny looking function, right? Here's the cost, and it kind of has a little break here because it all goes up to 20, but then at 21, and if we zoomed in, we could maybe see that a little better. We can see that it's not quite at 20. So you can kind of now explore what's the cost. And you'll see what's this mean. So these are great ways to talk about what's this mean on line 20, that this one's starting lower than where this one's ending. What does that mean? Well, maybe if you have 25 copies, it's going to be cheaper for you than it is if you just did 20. All right, so different things like that. Maybe just make 25 even if you don't have 25 copies, because it's going to be cheaper for you than it is to do 20. And you can also click on a point, and what I want to show you is it's in standard form right now. I would suggest, since we're dealing with money, to go to the settings and change it to decimal. And now you can have them explore, okay, so if I had 40 copies, it's going to cost me $11. Well, what's it going to cost me if I have 25 copies? Well, $8.75, but that's cheaper than 20 copies. So even if I only need 20, I'm going to make 25 because it's cheaper. So lots of interesting things to explore. So a Piecewise function is very easy to enter, and you can explore things very quickly and easily once you have it on the graph as well.